There is a hidden enemy out there lurking amongst all of us, trying to entangle us in its web so it might hold us there forever. Who is this enemy, or what is this enemy? This enemy not only is hidden but unexpected. The enemy is good. Yes, good. The word good. A good job. A good life. I don't want to minimize it, but good is the antithesis of great. Good stands in the way more than bad or failure do in the way of great. Good is the antithesis, or the opposite, the defender, the one putting up a wall between you and great. Good is doing that. Not bad. We all know the difference between good and bad. We know when life is bad, and we know typically how to get ourselves out of a bad situation. Sometimes, for a lot of us, it's good that holds us back. I'm going somewhere with this, if you don't believe me. I've always been impressed about how a guy like Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant, some of the best basketball players that have ever stepped foot on the court, stay at the top of their game for so long. It's incredible to me. When you're the best, it's one thing to be the best, it's another thing to stay the best for so long. And the reason I'm bringing this up is I've noticed this in small pockets and little, months, sometimes maybe even years at a time. When I think life is going good, I take my foot off the gas a little bit. Admittedly, I do. And I might be the only one. But yeah, and so there's a tendency for us to kind of rest on our laurels a little bit the moment things start going good. And companies are genius at doing this. They give you just enough of a pay increase at the end of the year, and they kind of keep you there. And I just think that sometimes a good job keeps us from really pursuing those things that we know we should be after. There's points in my life where I come home from work and I read books. I'm listening to all kinds of podcasts. I'm filling my mind with knowledge that may not be directly related to the industry I'm in now, but it helps round me out. It helps my communication. It helps me in a lot of different ways. It keeps my mind working at night, even when I'm not at work, doing the things outside of work that I know I should be doing. And then there's other times in my life that I kind of sit here and I think, well, I've got it pretty good right now. I can take a little breather from all of that. Am I still the only one that does these things? And so I've seen a lot of people get somewhat, it's okay to be content. And not everybody has to want excellence. But I'll tell you why it's important to pursue it here in a minute. But I've seen a lot of good people just plateau. And I know that they want more and they expect more, but the moment that they make as much money as their friends, or maybe what their family expected them to, or what have you, they just kind of stop learning and stay there for 10, 15, 20 years and ride the rest of their career out at this plateau that they hit in their early 40s or maybe even 30s. I mean, how sad is that? I would challenge you. Here's the call. And the challenge is to stay intense so that you can achieve what God intended you to do. And here's my fear, is that these plays that I take off, if you played sports, your coach would say, never take a play off, and there's some truth to that in life. Is it's okay to have a restful season, but you can't stay in that season. You need to eventually get back and be aggressive, learning things outside of your own craft, doing things after work, before work, meeting with mentors, talking to people, reading, listening to people of influence, and filling your mind with things that are going to help you down the road. Here's why: because you've got to live up to your God-given potential. You don't know what later on those disciplines and that knowledge that you filled yourself with may end up helping people down the road. You don't know where that's going to lead. But here's what we do know: that we need to do everything within our power to keep growing, not just for our careers, but our own personal fulfillment. You get a lot of joy out of doing stuff that matters. So I would encourage you, don't let good get in the way of you being great. Don't settle for what you have now as far as your job prospects. Don't just throw in the towel because you think, well, this is what I've done the past 5 or 10 years, so this is what I've got to do the rest of the time, and end up hating life. Don't do that. If you're happy where you're at, then great. But don't stop growing. I mean, it is very hard to sit still. Eventually you may get passed up. And then what if, God forbid, you lose your job, and then you have to take a pay cut? You're going to wish you would have kept growing. There's going to come a point in time where you're going to think, man, I wish I would have listened to that Dave guy on that YouTube channel. And I don't want that to happen. Let's all together keep the pressure and intensity up and have fun. Appreciate you guys listening. Thanks for tuning in today. Hope this is challenging and motivating and encouraging to you, because you can make it. You just got to stay intense. Got to do things outside the box. Thank you.